Speedway. That's right, it's called Figure-8 racing, and the best that Irwindale Speedway has to offer will come out. The winged warriors are not afraid to look danger right square in the eyes and then face off with it. We're getting ready to turn them loose next on Speed.
Let's go have some fun.
Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control.
Welcome everyone to Lucas Oil on the Edge. This week, you're at Irwindale Speedway for the Delson Products Figure-8 race. This place is known as LA's half-mile super speedway. There's no finer facility in the country. Tonight, it's going to be Figure-8 racing, and that car is driven by Rod Proctor. He's the man that everybody's been chasing for a number of years now and would love to earn another Figure-8 championship here at Irwindale. But there's some other players in the house as well that'll come out here, and one of them is Barefoot Billy. Known nationwide, he actually travels the country to hit some of the biggest Figure-8 races, including the World Championships in Indianapolis, to earn titles. And then, of course, Jesse James. Jesse James debuted a brand new car 1 year ago, but then had problems with it. Actually rolled out a backup car, blew the cobwebs out of it. It had not been used for a year, and then rolled it over and put it on its lid. He's hoping for better results here tonight. But right now, we're going to send it down to Ted Brunson with more on tonight's race.
Well, here at Irwindale Speedway, this is the mecca on the West Coast for Figure-8 racing. And if you've never seen a Figure-8 race, you are in for a treat. These guys just love to be behind the wheel. And they've also got to be a little bit nuts to do it, because it's not just going around a track. Of course, it's a Figure-8. You get in the crosshairs of that intersection, and anything can happen. These cars get up to 75, 80 miles an hour on the straightaway. You've got to know when to brake. You've got to know when to speed up, and you never know what's going to happen. Wheels fall off, cars roll, and of course, Rod Proctor, four-time defending champ, going for one for the thumb. It's going to be very interesting. We've got a great field. Jesse James is here. We've got Barefoot Billy. We've got them all here. A field of 14, slated for 20 laps in that Figure-8. And you know what? You got to be nuts to want to be a passenger in one of these cars. Well, unless you're this guy.
All right, let's introduce you to our field of drivers here tonight. Mark Rhodes in the 64 and Dirty Harry in the 177. And car number 40 will be Jerry Toporek. And 42, Dan Burns. Car 54 will be Don Rogers. And then in car number 3, Barefoot Billy. In row 4 will be car number 7, Steve Stewart. And 17, Tony Curtis. In row 5, Sean Hansen in the 77. And Rod Proctor in the 21. Robbie Stutzel in 56, and Jesse James with a great look there in the 666 back in row 6. Hello everyone, I'm Ken Stout. We're getting ready to drop the green flag here at Irwindale Speedway. That's Jesse James, a spectacular looking machine. The best parts and pieces money can buy. Big smoke inside of that one, but he's going to need it all, as he will start in the last row and have to work his way up through this star-studded field if he's going to get a win here tonight at LA's half-mile super speedway. You can see the wing back there to try and get himself a little bit of traction as they'll turn left and right. The green flag flies, and already way down underneath the line went Barefoot Billy, and we have action already as car number 64 has already spun it around. That's Mark Rhodes. Rod Proctor picking up a couple of positions there, and Jesse James doing exactly the same as he'll pick up 2 spots. We'll go into this battle here where they go 3 wide on board with Barefoot Billy. He'll give us a great look tonight. And wow, chopping down there on car number 17. And the 17 is Tony Curtis. Had to get on the binders there to slow up just a little bit. As we go back in the pack a bit, you can see car number 40 there as well. That's Jerry Toporek. And And then the battle for fourth between Dirty Harry and Steve Stewart. Jesse James, man, look at him sawing at the wheel, and he's lost control of his car. He'll lose a couple of spots as well while he was trying to gather things up there. Barefoot Billy picks up another spot as he drives around car number 42, Dan Burns. So he'll lead the pack here. We'll go back to this battle for third between Tony Curtis and Steve Stewart. Curtis flying that big American flag off of his wing, and that's right, baby. The action has begun in the crosshairs. It's awesome. Nothing like an intersection and a great figure-8 race. These cars are very fast out here that run at Irwindale Speedway. Barefoot Billy keeping it real tight there, close to the tires, right at the bottom of the turn. 2 and 3 wide here. Great battle going on. You can see Curtis back there once again. Also Steve Stewart in the 7. These three battling for second place. Oh, and right there, Dan Burns comes down on number 17, Tony Curtis. Keep in mind, these guys have no spotters, so he probably thought once the 7 got by Steve Stewart, he'd have enough room just to sneak in there, but unfortunately did not have enough room. And of course, in the 17, Tony Curtis had no place to go once Burns started down on him. We've just gotten started here at the Irwindale Figure-8 race. Make sure you come on back. The action will be hot. Welcome back once again to Lucas Oil on the Edge for the Delson Products Figure-8 race here at Irwindale Speedway in Irwindale, California. We've already had a lot of action. It's Barefoot Billy who's out in front after 7 of 25 laps out of Bloomington, California. Car set up nicely. Last year we saw him. The front wheel actually came off of this car, and he hung on for as long as he could. Tonight it looks like he's on his game. Jesse James also having a better run, although he did get crossed up earlier. Finally got the car gathered up, and now is trying to fight his way up through there. The Lucas Oil machine, though, is the one to beat. Can anybody catch up with him? Barefoot Billy having a great run here. He's already starting to put some lappers back behind him. That was car number 99, driven by Steve Cook. And Jesse James once again a little deeper in the pack. And how about that? Barefoot Billy's about to put Jesse James down a lap. Oh! And Jesse James just bonsais the intersection and now gets bonsaied by Barefoot Billy. No respect. He gets back on the throttle, cuts the course here. We'll see if he gets back in the race. One more look at what happened. Barefoot Billy just gets underneath the right rear bumper of Jesse James. Puts a bumper on him, and that's it, man. He's done. He goes right on by, and just like that, Jesse James is a lap down. There's a ride with Jesse James of exactly what happened. Jesse really doing nothing wrong there. Should have never been hit. Jesse not having the right combination or the right setup tonight. Earlier today, though, Ted Brunson had a chance to talk with a bad boy of figure-8 racing. Does he really love this stuff?
Standing next to a very familiar face, Jesse James, everybody's favorite outlaw here in figure-8 racing. You told me that you were born to race figure-8 racing.
I was. I used to hang out at Corona Raceway when I was a kid and watch dirt track figure-8. So
you loved it so much you gave up a truck series so you could do this.
yeah, it's more fun, you know, just watching the late model race. It just seems like so much work, you know, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of, I have to remember that racing is like my hobby, not let it become like a job.
There's also the danger aspect and the thrills and the no rules, and you can do anything to your power plant you want. I mean, you've got 900 horsepower in this machine. Talk about what you've done to this thing.
Just an all aluminum Brodix motor, Brodix heads, Brodix block, and just, you know, pretty much everything you could do to it.
No, but let's talk about the back end here. These panels, these are pretty unique here for the downforce effect that you have, because I haven't seen this on any other car. Talk about those.
Well, it's just, you know, you're such a short straightaway, so, you know, the more downforce you can get, it's like sticking your hand out a car window at like 50, you know, you're going to feel it. It's going to push on the back end, so. Plus, it looks kind of cool, so I don't even know if it works or not.
As long as it looks cool.
I saw some other dude with a car with that on there, so I said maybe that's what you're supposed to do.
There's no mistake, and the car does look cool. The number 666 car. It's a great looking machine. Beautiful piece of metal. I'm telling you something, people are waiting for you to win some races. You've got to start stepping it up for these people who are coming out to see you.
I know, but I gotta work, man. You know,
responsibilities can be real tough sometimes, but you know what, don't quit the day job. We enjoy what you do, but we love having you out here, Jesse.
Thanks, man.
All right, man.
Well, Jesse James out there having some fun. We're going to have some more fun when we come back. Once again, we're here at Irwindale Speedway with Lucas Oil on the edge. Right now, we're going to send it over to Ted Brunson, who's standing with a driver, the number 17 car, the guy that's hoping to win tonight.
Standing next to Tony Curtis. Tony of Hawthorne, California. You make it out to all the races here at Irwindale. Talk about the season and what it takes to get ready for a season.
Well, it's a lot of preparation getting ready for the season. You know, all the work that goes into the cars on the off season. Lucky to have a lot of good friends and our Delson toolboxes to get us prepared and everything. And it's just a long process on the off season just to get them ready for the first race and kind of go from there, from race to race.
Speaking of the toolbox, you've got guys running back and forth that thing all the time. I mean, you guys are thrashing sometimes right up to the point when you're supposed to be in the staging lane. You've got to really have a crew that is committed and wants to help you out.
Oh yeah, they're very committed. They help me out tremendously. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be out here probably.
And that's what brings him out here from Hawthorne, California for all 10 races here at Irwindale. Tony Curtis in his 6th season racing the figure-8s.
Every job for its tool and every tool for its job. The leader right now, though, is Sean Hansen after 12 of 25 laps. And now, in 2nd place is Barefoot Billy, so he's fallen back 1 spot after that little love tap that he gave Jesse James. You can see the leader right in front of him. That is the 77 car driven by Sean Hansen. So he's right on the back bumper. Oh, and Jesse James just hammers one of those big tracker tires, and it's completely ripped the right front suspension up. He had trouble with one a year ago. It put him on its lid. Look, he just cuts it real close right here and just nips that tractor tire. And boy, did it cause severe damage to the 666 car. Let's send it down to Ted Brunson, who has an update.
Jesse, you're giving the fans a thrill out there. We're seeing a bunch of wrecks right now, but what happened? You got clipped there and your engine caught fire a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what was up at the fire, but that was fun though.
You really don't care, do you? You just like the thrill of the whole thing, even though you got through about 8 laps.
As far as I'm concerned, I got the right of way all the time. I'm pretty good at timing it though, you think?
I gotta tell you, at least he's having fun, man. That's what it's all about anyways. Well, the Lucas Oil machine in 2nd place, trying to track down the 77 car driven by Sean Hansen. That is a look at Rod Proctor in the 21 car, battling back there for 6th place with Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis had a little incident with Dan Burns earlier in the evening as well. Proctor trying to get underneath him right here. Boy, nice, oh, I was gonna say clean pass, but not as clean as I'm sure Proctor would have hoped it'd be. Little smoke there out of the Camaro. You can see that back there as well. And there's a look at Dan Burns. More action from Irwindale Speedway when we come back. The fun has begun here with Lucas Oil on the edge. We're at the Delson Products Figure-8 race here in Irwindale Speedway. When we went to break, it was Barefoot Billy driving a Lucas Oil machine that was in 2nd place. And he will be the subject of this week's Product Spotlight.
All right, standing next to the Figure-8 track legend. He says a legend in his own mind, but a lot of people think of him as a true legend. Barefoot Billy. Billy, you've been doing this since 1980. Now you have a great sponsorship, partnered up with Lucas Oil Products. You go way back with them, and it's not just a sponsorship. You really do believe in their product.
Oh, yeah. Without them, the motors wouldn't last nowhere near as long as they do. And our engine guy, Orange Engine, builds a good motor, but without the proper additives in it, it would never go nowhere.
Of course, you use that 2050 oil, and you really need that when the car takes a beating. But let's talk about this race now. Last year, bad luck. The front tire falls off. You were really racing well. Then in Indianapolis, you fall ill. You seem to be falling just short on some of the big races. People are expecting you to come out and win this thing.
Yeah, the car's running real good tonight. We shouldn't have no problems.
You know, with your carburetor, you only use the 2 barrels. Explain why you do that and why it's so important to you to have just the 2 barrels and cut down on that.
With a 2 barrel, you get all your gas all at once. With a 4 barrel, you get a little bit of gas, and then when the secondary is open, you get all your fuel. But with the carburetor we have, it flows as good as a 750 Holly, so it's just as good dumping all the fuel at once. And we're on and off the gas so much, so it just works out great. Most of these cars run 4 barrels, but we just think it's a little bit over-carbureted.
After completing 18 of 25 laps, it's Dirty Harry who has fought his way up to the lead. And still in 2nd place is Barefoot Billy. He hangs on to the spot, but he can't seem to take over the point. Lucas Oil sponsor in this machine, and the reason I bring that up is if you know Forrest Lucas, the president, CEO of Lucas Oil, if you want to get him something for Christmas, get him tickets to a figure-8 race. The guy absolutely loves figure-8 racing more than anything else out here. He's been a farm boy that came from Indiana and just grew up with the figure-8 racing, and it's a lot of fun to watch, no question, but it certainly does it for Forrest Lucas. So he has a good time out here at these races as well, and we have a lot of action, of course. Steve Stewart back there still fighting hard as he tries to work his way to the front, and once again, Barefoot Billy turns another car around. It's Dirty Harry this time, your leader, and of course, Barefoot Billy will take over the lead. Right here, it looks like Dirty Harry checked up just a little bit to keep the car close to that tire to really chop down on that turn. And the second he checked up, Barefoot Billy was closing the gap quickly and puts a bumper on him. Boom, right there. And that's it for Dirty Harry. He falls out by the wayside, and of course, Barefoot Billy takes over the lead. So Dirty Harry doing a good job of saving that. Only falls back as far as third place. But up in front, Barefoot Billy, the Lucas Oil sponsored number 3 car, trying to get a, whoa, and he just got hammered in the intersection. He went for it. And one of the back markers just ripped up the rear of that car. Here's another look at it, right into the left rear tire. Sends him spinning around. He backs it into a tractor tire. There has to be severe damage, I would think, to that car. Here's another great look. Going, and rips off the left front tire of car number 40. That's Jared Toporek, the car that actually hit him. We go on board with Barefoot Billy, and it happened just that quick. So a great run from Barefoot Billy. He had hit a couple of people, but he finally took a hit there. And it looks like you can see that left rear wheel definitely bent, probably broke something in the rear end, the differential as well. I would have to think that Barefoot Billy's night will end along with Jerry Toporek in car number 40. And that's it, as you can see. Man, big time hits here. The final lap from Irwindale coming up in a moment. We've had a lot of hard-hitting action here at the Delson Products Figure-8 race, courtesy of Lucas Oil on the edge. And the biggest one of all happened to the leader, Barefoot Billy. He was tagged in the left rear, knocked him out of the lead, spun the car around, and we will have a different point man. Now, Dan Burns currently sitting in second place, but up front will be Steve Stewart in the number 7 car. These two battled a lot earlier in the race as well. You just never know what's going to happen, though. This one's certainly not over, but with only a handful of laps to go, just 3 laps to go, there's a good chance they should be able to get through the intersection without anybody interrupting their way. They just have to deal with each other. Well, it looks like Barefoot Billy will try to hang on there. You can see the violent vibration of the left rear being bent. Let's send it down quickly to Ted.
All right, Ken, of course, caution has just been lifted. 3 laps to go. Barefoot Billy came screeching out of here. His back tire nearly falling off. Went, must have done a real quick fix. He is back on the track. Will we have a new champ?
I'm really shocked that that car's back in the race. I figured he would have broken something in the differential. It looks like for now, possibly just a bent axle or even just a bent wheel. But you can see he's trying to hang on to that one. Violent vibrations going on in the Lucas Oil machine. Up front, or closer to the front, we should say, Dan Burns, and then the 21. That is Rod Proctor making a move here late in the race. Once again, getting up close, and one of the back markers there just having a hard time hanging on to it. Right now, it's Steve Stewart who's in first place and just has to hang on for another lap or so to see if he can come across the stripe first and get the win here tonight. Great looking ride. Keep in mind, no rules for these cars with the exception of a spec tire. Anything else goes. Any size engine, it does not matter. And he will come across the stripe first. Steve Stewart gets the win here at Irwindale for the Figure-8 race. Beautiful looking ride. Had a little bit of trouble earlier tonight, but raced pretty clean. Managed to keep himself out of trouble, and that's what you've got to do. You've got to be able to survive the first 25 laps if you want a shot at winning, and that's exactly what he did. Stayed clean through the intersection all night long. That car looks perfect. I don't know that anybody put a bumper on him anywhere along the way. Let's send it down to Ted, who's with Barefoot Billy, who probably needs some Excedrin.
Billy, you always put on a good show. You said you were going to. You got clipped pretty hard back there.
Win, lose, or break, we always got to put on the show for the stands. That's what they're here to see. And but that's figure-8 racing. There's no stop signs and red lights. And if I'm leading, I ain't stopping. It's too easy to cut the car in half, put another half on it. And a couple hours worth of work, we'll have it back together pretty as new next time. I got a good crew that helps me out. And if it wasn't for them, we couldn't do this. And Lucas Oil and them, they help us out. All my sponsors, they're the ones that make this thing happen. And but without them, we couldn't put on the show for the stands.
That's the attitude you have to have if you want to win. Enjoy our crashes of the day here. Let's send it back down to Ted.
Steve Stewart, congratulations, the 2005 champ here. First event of the year. It's your 7th major at this course. You got to love it.
Yeah, this car's been working real good. Used to be my brother's car, and we got it set up where it works here real good. I mean, it's the 7th. Actually, I got 5 in a row right now out here. 4 last year and this one, yeah.
They got a little crazy out there in the crosshairs. You were lucky enough to come basically unscathed. A few things to the front end, but how's your car and how you feeling right now?
Yeah, car works good and I feel good. It's pick apart and all them. I like all the sponsors, and Irwindale Raceway is a nice track. And that one was pretty close because I was right behind Billy when he got tagged. I seen that whole thing coming. But you got to be there at the end. That's the biggest thing about this figure-8 racing.
That's the old saying, you got to know when to hit the gas and when to hit the brakes. Here's a look at our final results here at Irwindale Speedway. A lot of action. Hope you enjoyed it. Ted Brunson, I'm Ken Stout. Keep in mind, we've got some great racing action coming your way all season long, courtesy of Lucas Oil on the Edge. But before you go away, don't forget, you're not living unless you're on the edge.